Yeah.
So being a father now and going on tour, I recently saw you had done another interview and you had spoken about, I believe it was your 6-year-old daughter, saying that she missed you while you were gone and away on tour. And it was kind of heartbreaking to hear her say, I don't want you to be a Backstreet Boy anymore. I want you to be my daddy.
Yes.
How is it dealing with moments like that? You know, being a father and sometimes having to be away from home. How do you cope with that?
I don't really. I was just home 2 days ago after we finished up a 3-day weekend doing our West Coast shows. We had Staples Center and then San Jose and then the Honda Center in Anaheim. And she was very emotional all day. And she's like, I don't understand why you have to go back to work. Why, like this is a 6-year-old telling me, you don't have to be a Backstreet Boy. We have plenty of money. We have a house. You have a really nice truck, Daddy. You don't need to go back to work. And I'm like, baby, listen. If you want to go to college, if you want to do all these things, if your sister wants more Paw Patrol, Daddy has to go to work. I said, plus, you know that feeling you get when you're on stage, when you're doing your whole dance stuff? She's like, yeah, I love it. I'm like, well, that's the way I feel when I'm on stage. I'm bringing happiness and joy to people I may never get to meet. And for 2 hours out of their day, they get to forget about whatever they're dealing with in their lives and just come listen to good music. And that's the same thing when all of us are watching you up there dancing. Doesn't matter what's going on. We're just entranced by watching you. And she's like, oh, well, I guess that makes sense. Okay. But, and this is happening now at 6. So I'm actually glad it's happening now and not when she's 15.
Right.
When she can just totally go, no, screw you, Dad.
I mean, you know all about those crazy teenagers.
Give me the credit card, Dad.
Yeah.
No.
So you have your family, you have the Backstreet Boys stuff going on, and as if you're not busy enough, you also have your kind of solo stuff going on. You're doing the country thing now.
I am doing the country thing now, and it's been a whirlwind. It's been kind of nuts that what started as just a little idea, and I'll say it was a little idea, but a big inspiration. Because when we did God, Your Mama, and Me about 2 years ago with us in Florida Georgia Line,
So good.
yes, it was. That was the catalyst to kind of jumpstart things, even to the point where Backstreet Boys had been asked if we would do a full country album. But knowing that it was our 25th anniversary, we were like, I don't know if fans want to hear a complete country record from Backstreet Boys. We were like, maybe we can have a couple songs that have that, which we've obviously had country-esque songs, Drowning, Save Us Place to Hide, Help Us When She Smiles, songs that have that kind of sound. But we did this TV show in Nashville called Crossroads with us and FGL. And right after that, I was approached by a bunch of local publishing companies and label people, and they're like, have you ever thought about going country? And I'm like, no, I haven't, but I would give it a try. And one girl said, well, your voice, it's like sexy country.
All right.
And I was like, is that even a thing?
100%. It is now.
And she was like, like that kind of Chris Stapleton sound raspy. I'm like, do not compare me to the man almighty, Mr. Chris Stapleton, because that man is just a godsend. He is just, I am obsessed. But so I then spent about 2 years on and off, back and forth between LA and Nashville. Fell madly in love with Nashville, was this close to moving to Nashville. My wife was this close to moving, which is a shock because she said she would never leave California. But I will end up in Nashville at some point. I promise you that.
Cool.
Wow.
But and I just started going in and just writing with some amazingly talented writers in Nashville. And as things progressed, I started hearing things back and then hearing feedback. And I was like, I kept telling myself, wow, why have I not been doing this the whole time? This feels like home to me. And I'm having a blast. And country music tells stories. I want to tell my story. There's a lot more to me that people don't know about or that you can learn about. And between pop and country, pop is so competitive. It's so, okay, who has the most followers? Who's got the most streams? Country, it's like, let's get 10 bands together and go on the road as a family and just have fun. Like, that's awesome. I want that, Take a break from the guys for a little bit and go have some fun. We've always said, if any of us want to do anything outside of the group, that we will always have each other's back and fully support to spread your wings. Kevin went off for 7 years to do Broadway and movies, and Nick's had a couple solo records, and Brian, the Christian World, and Howie has a children's album out. So everyone's doing their own thing.
Yeah.
You know.
That's really cool. So with everyone doing their own thing and taking some time apart, when you guys get together, like, do you guys bring your families together? Do you guys do like a Thanksgiving Backstreet Boy family thing together? Or is it just,
We haven't yet.
does it stick to being on tour?
We have done some things as families. I know, like, for example, over the past couple days, Kevin has a boat out near like the Lake Mead area. So him and Howie with their families, they went out and they just kind of were doing like wakeboarding and stuff. Kevin's never invited me, but for one reason. No, let me explain. Neither one of my daughters know how to swim yet, because my oldest was traumatized by her swim teacher, so like she's terrified to learn. So why would you want us on a boat if they can't
Right.
swim? That doesn't make me feel safe. And I'm that overly protective dad.
Are you?
Like, even if they're out in a field with nothing, no trees, no holes, I'm like, don't run. Walk where you're going. Yeah, and my wife's like, you know what? If they fall and they get a scrape or they break a bone, that's what kids do. I'm like, not on my watch.
Oh my gosh.
I'm 41 and I've never. There's no wood.
I
Where's
know,
your
we
wood?
gotta find
no
some
wood,
wood.
I know.
I've never broken a bone in my body.
Oh my goodness.
And that's just being overly cautious.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we would love to do something as a big. I know, like Nick and I did Disney once, which that was fun.
Whoa.
He was
Disney
like-
Day with all the kids running
Right.
around and yeah. So, but it would be nice to maybe do something. Like, obviously, holidays, everyone's kind of off doing their own thing, and only two of us live on the West Coast, Nick's in Vegas, but Kevin and I are the only ones that are in California. So the other two are on the East Coast, so it's kind of hard,
Yeah, it can be tough.
Well, cool. Well, we appreciate you coming, and we're so
Thank
excited
you.
to see you tonight.
I-
We do have a little bit of time, right, for a couple questions?
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions?
Go,
Yeah,
please.
Talk really loud so we can hear you.
I'm curious about what new ink you might be getting, and if there's anything you're looking forward to, and what the meaning might be with your next tattoo.
Yes, I am. Probably the next one will be the back of my neck for two reasons. I'm covering up something I should never have got. There's always those.
like it.
And I really want to stick with like the whole bird theme. So I'm going to get a owl on the back of my neck. As a father, you need to have eyes in the back of your head. So each one of my tattoos, there's got to be something to it. It's not just go in there and look big. I'll take, because I have one of those like everyone can have. I was drunk when I got it. It was dumb. But the hardest one is figuring out what I'm going to get for Lyric, because Ava's tattoo is so dope. And I know there's already competition. When she gets older, if she looks at Daddy like at the pool, wait, why does mine suck? Ava's is better. What's going on? So it's got to be equally as good. So
That was a really good question.
That's
Yeah.
a great question. Does
anyone
anyone
else
else
have
have a question?
Yeah.
What you got?
I want to know which Backstreet Boys song has the most meaning to you out of all of them.
That's a good question, too.
Probably Show 'Em What You're Made Of, just because that was inspired by our children, and that was actually the first song that Kevin and I wrote together. We had all written, either two of us or three of us or four of us or even all five, but that was the first time Kevin and I, we were set up in like we were kind of like splitting us up into different writing groups, and the song just kind of came out, and it was always a tough one to do live, especially if our families were out. But I'd say Show 'Em What You're Made Of for sure. Yeah.
Very
Anyone
nice.
else? We do have
one
some
more?
music we're going to listen to.
We can do one more question if you want. Just
Yeah,
one more.
does anyone-
Anyone. Don't be shy.
One more
you can
question.
Ask
Come
me
on,
literally
guys.
anything.
Come on. This is like a once in a lifetime deal.
You can ask me anything. Literally.
He said anything.
No fear. You're thinking about it. I can see the wheel.
Okay,
I can
yep,
smell the
he's-
wood burning.
He saw it. He saw it.
So I don't know that you can do this, but when your tickets went on sale, we did the whole, like, you get a CD with your ticket. We're way at the top. Can you
She is taking advantage of this
I-
opportunity.
She's trying to finesse right now. Okay.
Well, let me just say this. Twofold. I don't know if I can. I will look into it. Number two, ironically enough, there's three spots to watch the show that are the best. The higher up you are, the pit's obviously fun, is that's an interaction with us, or about 30 to 40 rows back. Just because the stage is so massive, you will actually probably have one of the best seats in the house, to be honest. And if you're high up enough, you'll see a lot of me and a lot of Kevin during the show. More than you may think.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
does that
there's
mean?
I don't want to give anything away for anyone that hasn't seen it, but there might be a little bit of skin shown,
Ooh.
which you'll see much better from a higher angle.
I love it.
Plus, it also makes us look nice and thin from a higher angle. It keeps the dad bod at bay. Hence, why no pizza? You know.
Aw.
God, it smells so good.
I know.
It smells delicious.
Anybody have any yogurt? Woo! Yay!
Well,
Pizza
cool.
flavored yogurt? I don't know.
All right?
Oh, that's gross.
They should look into making that. Well, thank you so much for coming by
My
again.
pleasure,
We
my
cannot
pleasure.
wait to go see the show tonight.
Yep.
I
Oh my
know
gosh,
I'm
yes.
excited. I have to share one thing just because I have you in front of me. So I have to shame my mom a little bit.
Okay.
When I was 8 years old, you guys were on tour. My friend had an extra ticket to your show. I wanted to go so bad. My mother would not let me go. She wouldn't let me to go to concerts or anything without her, and I cried hysterically for 2 days. So can you please just say, Norma, how dare you?
Norma, how dare you? I cannot believe you would deprive your 8-year-old child from coming and watching 5 very handsome men
So handsome. I didn't even
dancing
know what
on
handsome
stage,
was.
probably damp with shirts off and muscles out. How dare you? But
One
now,
time my mom grounded
yeah.
me. Can you yell at her too?
I wasn't even grounded. She just wouldn't let me go to the show. I cried for 2 days.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of crying for an 8-year-old.
It is actually, yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
You're very
AJ.
welcome.
We
Thank you.
appreciate you
Thank
so
you,
so
guys.
much for
Thank you.
coming by. Thank you.